Hi, everybody. Hi. I'm Becca, founder and chief consultant of RG Adoption Consulting. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Friday. Hi, Kim. Hi, Gina. Hi, Mama Grace. Everybody, hello. Welcome. Hello, Michelle, plus one adoption. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm looking a little how I feel, which is I'm about at capacity for my world right now. My phone has been blowing up all day. My voicemails, my messages, my all the things. But can we just stop and look at the nails for a minute? All right, hold on. I did get a little, take care of myself. Let's see. Can you see? Can you see? It's like a 70s theme. Reminds me of the dating game. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So here's what's going on with me personally, if you care. My mom is in the hospital. She just had her 5th hip surgery. Things are happening with my dad. I'm visiting the hospital. My son's coming home from a school camping trip today. I'm trying to take care of me first, just running all around. And it just feels like a lot right now to handle. I have friends coming in from Chicago this weekend and all these plans, and I can't go visit my mom, and now I'm trying to make sure my dad can, and all these things. So, Mom, if you're watching, sending prayers. Everybody be prayer warriors for my mom. She has, in Yiddish we call it surus, which means problems. But she will get through it. Anyone who knows a good rehab facility in Cleveland, please tell me. Anybody who knows a world-renowned hip surgeon, please tell me. All right, we're going to talk about some things today. Today, we are going to talk about if you're traveling during your adoption journey, like if you're going on vacation or just kind of leaving. We're going to talk about life changes during your adoption journey. We are going to talk about the tax credit. We're going to talk about birth certificates and social security numbers. And that's it. So let's start. I'm going to be looking in lots of different places, but please say hello if you're watching. Please tell me a win, or this is my win. I got to tell you, I spend way too much money getting these fancy nails and nail art. But I've come to realize you got to spend money on what brings you joy. And if it brings you joy, it's worth every penny. And it brings me joy. So I do it. Okay. This is important conversations we're having. Really important. Nobody's saying hi yet. Nobody is telling me wins yet. So, yes, Kathy, I need a long weekend, and I'm going to play this weekend and hopefully not worry too much about everything else going on around me. All right. If you are using an adoption consultant, raise your hand if you are on your journey right now using an adoption consultant. Please humor me. Anyone? Well, I know somebody will be watching who is. And I just want to send the message to you that if you travel, if you are going on vacation, if you're leaving town, please let somebody know. My phone is still blowing up. Please let somebody know on your team, your consultant, your agencies, whatever, that you are leaving town. But hopefully you are still reachable, and let us know how to reach you. We do not want you to miss out on any opportunity. And even if you are traveling, if a situation lands in your lap, chances are you won't have to fly right away. But if you do, could you make it happen? And is it worth cutting your vacation short? So letting the people on your team know, especially your consultant who can help you navigate it, or be your kind of contact person if you're away. Let us know if you are traveling. We've had situations where we're like, why aren't they responding? We have the perfect situation for them and we can't get a hold of them. We don't want that to happen. Or 3 days later, we're hearing, oh, we're just out of town. Is it too late? Chances are it's probably too late. That's the other thing. Like, you don't have the luxury. If you see a situation sent to you from an agency that you're working with or your consultant or whoever, you don't have the luxury to say, oh, I'll get to that on Monday or I'll get to that tomorrow. No, you miss out if you do that. So you've got to, if you see an email come in from your, hi, Dr. Renee Alexander, so nice to see you. If you see a situation come through to you, or if you see an email from your consultant or your agency or attorney, chances are they're sending you that email because they have an important message to send to you. So make sure you are paying attention to what's being sent to you. And if it needs an immediate response, and every situation does, whether it's just, thank you so much, I received it, I need to talk to my husband. When do you need to know by? You need to know when that time is that you need to send. Renee, if you are still watching, I sent you a little treat a while ago, and I'm not sure if you got it. It came from Sugar Wish. Just giving you a heads up. Go check your emails, check your spam. And it was a while ago after our retreat thing, or after you spoke. Okay. So that's that. Let your consultant know if you are going away and you are in the midst of your adoption journey. We need to know. 2, on that same vein, if you are going through any life changes, okay? Now, this means a lot of different things. If you are moving, that is a huge one. You have to let us know, because you're going to need a home study update. And likely you're going to need to put things on hold for a little while until that happens. So don't think you can just sneak it under the radar. You can't. And you don't want to run into any issues. If you are pregnant, again, we need to know, because if you match, the expectant mother needs to know that you are pregnant and make that decision. So that's not a good thing to hide. If you are, and chances are, if you do get pregnant, you'll want to go on hold until after you have a baby. That's a whole thing, but we need to strategize that with you. If you are getting married, if a major sickness arises in your life, which hopefully it won't, all these things, if you got fired from a job, if you have a family member who got sick and you're going to be like really not in the right mind space right now to be dealing with adoption situations or responding right away or all the things that you need to do, please let your consultant know. We are here for you. We are here to help guide you, strategize with you, and help you get through this process the best way that we know how. And we've seen just about everything. So make sure, that's another great reason to have a consultant, because if you're scared to tell your agency something, which a lot of us are, because the agencies hold a lot of power at this time when you're going through the process, you need someone there who you can trust has your back and will give you the best strategy, the best information, the best advice. So make sure your consultant becomes your best friend through that whole journey. And let us know all the things. Okay, Birth certificates and social security numbers. I know a lot of people wonder about that and wonder about international travel and all the things. You get that after finalization, not after you bring your baby home. You get it after you finalize the adoption, which typically happens about 6 months after the adoption. So depending on which state you're adopting from, every state has different laws depending on which state you are finalizing from, not where you are adopting from, but depending on which state you are finalizing from, whether it be your home state, it'll either be your home state or the state you are adopting from. Those are the two places you'll either be finalizing from where you adopted from or from your home state. There may be one other scenario where if the birth mom, whatever, those are primarily the two places that you'll be finalizing. Depending on the laws of that state will determine how long it is until you finalize. But the majority of states, you need X amount of visits after, probably like 3 post-placement visits from your home study agency, and can finalize in about 6 months' time. There are some states that only require 1 post-placement visit, like Kansas, and you can finalize in 30 days, which is amazing. But just most likely it's 6 months. So just know you can't get a birth certificate with your names on it, and you can't get a social security number until you finalize the adoption. Okay, and that's when you can then get life insurance and all the other things that you might be wanting to do for your child, but you need a social security number. So that's that. The other thing is the tax credit. Oh, I want to go back for a second about insurance. Most insurances, I think there's been 1, maybe 2 situations where I'm being told something different, although I'm not quite sure I 100% believe it. When I adopted, my insurance kicked in for my child the day the adoption papers were signed. I'd say 95% of the time, that's the way it happens. On the day the papers are signed for the adoption and the baby is in your hands, that's when your insurance should kick in to cover the baby. Okay? I was recently told, and I heard this once a long time ago, that their company said it doesn't kick in until the adoption is finalized. Now, in my mind, I don't think they know what they're talking about. Like, I feel like they think when the papers are signed, that's what's called finalized. So I don't know if it's just a disconnect on terms, like the terms that they're using, versus if that's really the case. And then what do you do in the meantime until finalization? Meaning you'd have to get a whole nother coverage for your child. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I can't believe that that's actually true, but if somebody else has experienced that, please let me know. But 9 times out of 10, when papers are signed, your baby is covered. Kathy said, mine too, baby was covered right away. Yeah. Most of the time, that's what happens. You just have to, and they will backtrack it. So like, I didn't have to worry about the day papers were signed, getting all the paperwork over to my company or my insurance or my HR or whatever. When I got home, I faxed them all the paperwork and they were able to backdate it. That's the way it usually works. Okay, the adoption tax credit for 2022, I'm going to talk about. Each year, it tends to go up a little bit, if any. But the adoption tax credit for 2022 is $14,890 per child. It's gone way up since I adopted. And I'm looking over to this side because I'm reading, but it says the adoption tax credit is not refundable, which means taxpayers can only use the credit if they have federal income tax liability. Meaning, if you have to pay taxes, federal taxes, if you owe, or not just if you owe, If you have federal income tax liability on your taxes, then it applies. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but anyways, the credit applies one time for each adopted child and should be claimed when taxpayers file taxes for the year that you finalize. So if you finalize in 2022, next year, when you are doing your taxes in 2023 for 2022, is when you will start claiming that tax credit. Does it include a failed match? I have heard it does. I'm not an expert on that, and I don't know all the ins and outs, but I have heard it does. So worth looking into, or asking your accountant if they can look into it. Yes, you can for a failed if you have a note from an attorney showing the loss and keep receipts. Great. And that's what I've heard too. I've just never done it or walked anyone through it. To be eligible for the credit, parents must have adopted a child other than a stepchild. The child must be under 18 or be physically or mentally unable to take care of him or herself, and be within the income limits. This is important. Income affects how much of the credit you can claim as parents. Parents can claim. So in 2022, families with a modified adjusted gross income below $214,520 to $214,520 can claim the full credit. And this is combined income. Those with incomes from $223,410 to $263,410 can claim partial credit, and those with incomes above $263,410 cannot claim the credit. And then it goes on, there's certain criteria for special needs versus non-special needs. If you adopt a child with special needs, I don't think you need to show any receipts of what you spent. I think that's what it said, but you can read it and talk to an accountant who knows. But for those who are adopting a child that does not have special needs, you will need to keep all of your receipts to turn in and to show when you're trying to file for the tax credit claim. Now, in the way I understand it, you have up to 5 years to claim that full $14,890. So if you don't have federal tax liability that equals that amount in 1 year, you can claim the rest of it the next year or the next year. I hope that makes sense. It's a little confusing, but if you go to the website, if you just Google adoption tax credit 2022, you'll probably be taken to the NACAC.org website. It's the North American Council on Adoptable Children website that kind of goes into all the nitty gritty. Anyways, it's a little complicated, but not really. I kind of understand it, but it's harder to explain. And hopefully you're getting what you're picking up what I'm putting down. Listen, I hope you guys all have a great weekend. It's Labor Day. Go have fun, celebrate. Everybody has small little wins. If you're on your journey and you've been waiting, that you can celebrate your health, celebrate your family, celebrate the beautiful weather, be grateful, and just manifest that and bring that into your heart. And most of all, have fun and seek joy this weekend. I love you all. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. And we are closed on Monday unless you get a situation, and we are never too far away. But have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next Friday, same time, same place. Bye.